Hello, this is Bridget with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, we are moving on with level 6 of Alcyone Light Healing. And there's 7 levels altogether, so we are getting closer to the end. Never really thought it was going to take as long as it has, but here we are. And each level has connected with a different chakra. So I've noticed in my own life, each level, as it connected with a different chakra, those things were coming up in my own life. I started off with the root chakra, right? The basic level, basic needs, survival, instincts, and all of that. And then I got Lyme disease as my thing for that. And then, second is our sacral, which is relationships, and I ended up having a person from my past who I hadn't seen in 16 years at least, started stalking and being crazy, so tested my personal power and ended up getting a restraining order. They went to jail, on to probation, ordered to take psychiatric evaluations and stuff. And then heart chakra, opening up and being compassionate for self and others. And then the last one we just finished was our throat chakra, which is being authentic and communicating and all of that. And I definitely feel like I was vulnerable and realized that I had been holding back parts of my authentic self, and did some stuff in the beginning of even coming onto YouTube that was motivated out of a desire to not really be showing the fullness of me. And now we're moving into the level where it's our third eye, and that is our perception of things. That's how we see the world intuitively. So everybody has their things, when you see a sign, it's a sign for you because you saw it with your third dimensional eyes, but usually it's your ancient eyes that have the awareness of that's a sign, or that synchronicity, or that spirit showing me something because I just experienced this, or because I just thought that, or whatever. So it's very much about our perception, our perspective, how we see things, and how we intuitively put those things together, how we perceive them. So the overview is basically me telling you a little bit about what to expect in this level, and each level we connect with, it's going to have a color, and this one is indigo. Now I've noticed every other chakra down below is oh yeah, this is red across the board. Orange, yep, okay, everybody's good with that. Green and yellow and blue, everybody, yep. But then when you get up here, it's whatever. White, sometimes purple, sometimes indigo. They call it indigo instead of purple because it's we can kind of play with that, I guess. People don't really know what that is, maybe. I don't know what they're doing. But everywhere I go, there's different colors for up here. There's purples, across the board. White, purplish, whitish, purpley. And I looked through here, I was what did I put? Because I feel this should be white. Up top, crown, connected to source, should be white. Purple, yeah. Indigo, whatever color you want to call it, it's purple. But everywhere I go, I've seen a variation of dark purple, light purple, white, purple, purplies, sometimes bluish colors. That's a light blue and a dark blue for your throat. So even this one gets a little mixed up because of up here. But we're going to do indigo for the sake of things. But you can, the span of purple, basically, if you would like. You could wear purple, eat purple, eggplant, purple grapes, whatever you can find that's purple and you want to eat it, go ahead. Or set the intention that this is going to hold the vibration and frequency of purple, and then eat it. You could wear amethyst jewelry if you have any. And again, amethyst is another one that's so versatile, or there's many different types of amethyst. There's these guys here that are strong. And then there's these guys that are little tiny, whatever. Oh, this is a twin one I forgot about. This is a twin peak. It's a twin. See how it's got two little boop boops? But this is like a point, okay? This is the point. Then this one is a scepter, okay? So a scepter has a weird head, basically. You're like a scepter, like I'm a king. This thing, it was freaking expensive because it's a scepter. And when I got it, I was like, why are you so expensive? I have shit like this in my drawer. This is like, what are you talking about? But this one, you know, this is special because it's a twin. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their things. But even this, they have these ones that are like, you know, we put it into a freaking machine and made it different than it naturally was, because if it was natural, it'd probably look like that. But you can wear the span of the many amethysts. I know I have, like, because, like, oh yeah, there was the banded amethyst, then there was the Rwanda amethyst, there is the amethyst points, the amethyst, like, you know, that's like a pillar thingy, or a little, oh my god, what is my brain doesn't remember anything anymore. I'm looking at it, I know what it is, but I can't tell you. And then this is a little square. I have a whole set of the sacred geometry ones, like, they are all different sacred geometry sizes, like the dodecahedron and stuff like that. But there's tons of the different ways that amethyst is brought to us. And even citrine, a lot of citrine is actually amethyst that they heated up to make it like a golden yellow. Real citrine isn't very gold. It's usually like more of like a dirty, muddy, I don't know, champagne color. It's not like you know. So a lot of the citrine that we see is actually just amethyst that was heated up and then turned into gold. But it's still good. It's still good. You know, this is it. Like, everybody, oh yeah, this is it. And it's like more expensive. Then I'm like, all you did was heat it up. I don't know. The more I learn about stuff, I'm like, the less happy I am about it. So basically, wearing it, eating it, playing with it, intending for it. If you don't have the money to get amethyst and you'd like some, you know, just ask to receive the energy and frequency of it within the vortex. You know, like, infuse that energy into the vortex. And then as you're walking around and embodying that energy and frequency of amethyst, you'll probably attract some to you. Like, somebody might be like, here, I have a gift for you. Or you might find it on the ground. Or, I don't know, something might happen. You just come into it. But if you set the intention and you embody the vibration and the frequency like you've already got it, usually those things show up. So, those things are what you could do just to kind of help you to get into the vibration of it. I ended up moving stuff because I was getting frustrated with this fact that nothing was working, so now my little paper is mixed up. Here it is. No, that's not it. Where the heck is it? Okay. So I want to take this. This. Okay. So yeah, okay, the daily practices that you're going to have are going to basically be like practicing with the whole like reading and stuff, because that's what we're doing in this level. So this level is like tarot and oracle card readings, like channeling your own tarot oracle card readings. And we're going to talk about different things throughout the level, like the imagery that you see on cards, whether you get a tarot or oracle. And you might want to get a deck if you're going to be participating in all of this. So you could get an oracle or a tarot, or you could get an oracle tarot. Like, they have those. I have so many decks. But there's one in my head right now that I can see that it's literally called like oracle tarot. And I actually have this one right here. It's another one that somebody made this, and it's basically like a hybrid, because there's cards in here that are tarot. Like, this one would be the Wheel of Fortune, but she's put the keywords on it, and she's got, you know, the planet that it connects to, and the information that ties to that card that a lot of times we don't know just off the top of our head, unless you're like a tarot expert that's been doing it forever or went through like professional level training. I am not a professional like tarot person. I literally bought one book. Like I had the deck gifted to me, or I won it, and then I didn't touch it for years because I was like, oh, and there were scary pictures and stuff in there. So I was like, I don't know what this means. I'm scared. And I did oracle cards because oracle cards are very much like beginner friendly, easy to do. They have like a little keyword on there, so you cannot mess that up. But tarot's like that next level up. I got one book off of Amazon. It was like how to read tarot for beginners, and it was a like pamphlet sized book. It wasn't very much info in there, and a lot of it was more so just like the basic description of this is what it means upright, this is what it means when it's like in reverse, bum, 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 through the whole book. So I basically had that, and I made myself like a chart of things of like this means this and this means that, and I just kept practicing and using that stuff, and then watching other people help me to like see what they had been thinking in regards to certain things, because everybody learns differently, and every deck, like if you buy a deck that's like from this person, they're gonna interpret their way, and then somebody else gonna interpret that same card in a different way. So it's like, how can it mean? But it can adapt to mean all of those things, or it may only mean those things when you carry one of those decks. Like I have certain decks that I resonate with stronger than others, and then when I use them, it varies on what I see about like the message that's coming through. Like she's very loving, but she loves herself, or blah blah. Like and it depends on the person, what the question is, and all of that. So basically, find a deck that is going to be your comfort zone. Are you somebody that needs like all the keywords and stuff? Or are you somebody that kind of already has like intuitive abilities, and when you look at an image, you can see like something about the image speaks to you? Because I've noticed with myself too, even that changes up. Like I'll be using a deck for months, and then one time I do a reading with a certain intention or a certain thing, and I all of a sudden now I'm noticing like that little butterfly like that I've never seen before. And it's not that it wasn't like there, it's just, or that I never saw the card, it's just that I'd never zoomed in on that thing before, so that message needed to be coming through relevant to whatever I was delivering. But you can get tarot or oracle or a mix, and this is the Intuit Oracle. And I don't know if this ever went to print. Like she was doing like that thing, like a crowdfunding thing, and she was trying to get people to like back and support it, like a Kickstarter thing. So I don't know if this ever went to print or not, but you can try and see. And then there's so many decks out there. Anyways, my first deck was Angel Therapy by Doreen Virtue, and then I got the book Angel Therapy, and then I got the workbook for that, and it was like a whole little set. I don't know how easy it is to get that now, because ever since she went crazy and like was like, I renounce all my work, it's all bad, God. I don't know what happened. I think she got programmed, because she said she moved to Florida, right? She moved to Florida, driving around her little like convertible, and the only thing that would come on in the radio was AM radio, and it was always church gospel like stuff. And now she's like, anything other than like God is the devil and fairies are evil. Like everything that she worked on for years, she's like, nope, it's no good. So a lot of her stuff is now kind of either very expensive to get or out of print, or they made like knockoff versions of those things. But yeah, I was pissed when she did that, because there's a lot of people out there who are like into her hard, and like that's like taking somebody's religion and being like, meh. Like all of a sudden, like God comes down and he's like, I quit. This is all bad. None of you should be doing this. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's not cool, lady. You can't just renounce it. I don't know. I mean, you can change your beliefs up, but you probably don't need to force everybody else in the world to do that at the same time as you. But there you go. Anyways, we'll be talking about that. Getting your first deck, images, colors, numbers, things to that nature, and how do we feel the energy of questions, what types of questions to ask, trusting your feelings, your intuition, and, just exploring that whole thing. Then we are going to get into the tarot basics, which we have wands and cups and swords and pentacles. Then we have the aces to tens. For some reason, I didn't put 10 in on the paper, so I need to find this in my computer, add the tens, and then I'm going to make a place where people can just download that one page instead of like downloading the whole manual again, because that's just a waste of space and time. So I'm going to get the 10 added, and then there are the court cards, which are the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings. And I know it sounds like a lot, and it sounds like, oh my god, but it's really not once you get the basics, because it's like it's only 4 suits, okay? So there's 4 suits. They all are pretty clear what they are. There's like a sword. Okay, those are the swords. Oh, yeah, coins everywhere. Pentacles. And those aren't even coins. Those are pentacles, like pentagrams. That's like, like it's like esoteric. And then the cups, okay? There's going to be some cups and water. Okay, that's going to be cups, emotions. And then there is the wands with their big, wands all over. Woohoo! So, I mean, there are decks out there where it's like, what the hell is this? There's some where it's like the knives and the wands are like, is that a knife or a wand? I don't know. Especially that deck with the, like the wild whatever, where it's like all drawn. I've had a hard time knowing if I was looking at the deck, like if it was like a card of, is this swords or is this wands or what is this? So get one that you can tell what it is. When I made my tarot deck, I did it in a way that would have like imagery that speaks to what I think of when I think of those types of messages, or that message that comes through. So, like the sun always has like a little boy and a little girl on it, or twins on it. The Queen of Wands, she's the passionate, fiery wand lady. But I don't have the cups and stuff like that on my deck. So that's the part that isn't, mixed in on this. But like the Empress, like she seems like very grounded, earthy. King of Swords, he's sitting there with his big sword. And King of Pentacles, he's just more reserved. Like he's like the dad. 9 of Wands, like, are you gonna back down? I'm gonna win. And 3 of Wands, like, where the fuck is that ship? So it just depends. It depends on where you're going. Like the 8 of Swords is fear. Like, I'm scared. Oh, it's scary. But if you're not somebody that's like advanced, like if you can't look at, actually I wrote it right on there, so it does say it, like 9 of Swords. 4 of Wands, so that helps. Like it's right there. If you can't tell by looking at it, you can read it, and then if you know what that means by your little chart or something, then you'll be able to, over time, just out of repetition, get better at that stuff. So like the 10 of Cups, and I think it's weird. It's like people who watch, like, I can't do anything without like becoming like part of it. Like, I'm gonna become good at this. But there's people out there who watch like the tarot readings. They know certain cards. They don't know all of them, but they know certain ones, because those certain ones are the ones that they really like. Like 10 of Cups is your happily ever after. So most people are like, yep, I know that. That one's a good one. 4 of Wands is like, yeah, union. So all the twin flame people are like, yeah, I love that. But some of the like more like 3 of Wands, they may not know so much. What does that mean? Plus, it could mean multiple things. And I will get more into what I think you should do and how you should get through all of that. But find a deck that you like if you're going to participate. And you might want to, like, when I get that page up, I'm going to try to do it like tonight or tomorrow. You can print that page out and then have that be there to help you, because it says right on it, the 4 levels, or the 4 suits, which is the Wands, which is energy, power, career, fire. And then it has the ace to the 10s, and it tells you, like, what do those things possibly connect to? And then the pages are young messengers, and they're immature.
The knights are like a man who's like, yeah. And then queens are aspects of self or the mothering energies, and the kings are aspects of self or the father energy. So it's like basically the man woman, and they kind of take over whatever suit they're in. So it could be the pentacles, it could be the swords, it could be the cups, it could be the wands. And then once you've got those things down, it's pretty easy. And the numbers always kind of align to something. Like twos are about partnership or balancing something, decisions. Fives are usually challenges and conflict, overcoming changes and things like that. And it does depend. I notice like the swords is like a hard suit. Swords, like they got the three of swords, the nine of swords, the eight of swords, the seven of swords. Those are all kind of like, and then five of swords is not so good. The only one that I think is like good in the swords is the like four of swords, like healing. We're finally healing. Ten of swords is bad. Two of swords not so good. Ace of swords and four of swords. Those are like the only two swords that I think you would want to have. But the rest of it's kind of shitty. And so we'll talk about that in more detail. But basically, there's going to be some activations and meditations. The activations are a few dollars. The meditations are free. So we have Interpret the Energy activation, No Wrong Answer meditation, Release Fear and Limitations activation, and then I Am the Conduit meditation. So then the bonus, again, is to wear and eat purple throughout level 6. Be aware of colors, expressions, and signs. Start paying more attention. Do a synchronicity journal. When I did that, it was like, holy crap. Like, I was writing stuff down, like, way too much all the time because I see it nonstop. I'm like, I like pick up mail. It's everywhere. The numbers, the patterns. So you can do it with, like, something more significant, like, oh, I went for a walk today and I saw a deer. That could be a sign or a message for you. You can go look it up to find out deeper about it. If you're not getting any, like, real clear, that's what that means, then that would be like an opportunity for you to strengthen your wisdom about stuff, so that, like, if you ever get a card that has a deer on it, you can pull that out of your wisdom bank and be like, hey, that's what that means. But when you go to look up something online, don't just jump to the first thing. Use this vision, the third eye, your wisdom one, the ancient one, that's like picking up words that are like, bing, 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 bing. This is the one, not just number one on top that has the best SEO. No, we don't give a shit about that. We're looking for intuitive things. So it could be on the 4th page, could be on the 6th page, it could be deep on in there. Go wherever you feel guided to go, and then click on that, because there's going to be a message in there for you, and you can scan through to find it, or you can read the whole thing. But start doing things like that, and paying attention to, like, the numbers and stuff that you keep seeing. Because a lot of times when we see numbers, I've had this happen anyways, where it's basically a message, and I'll see the repeating numbers, like, over and over and over, until I, like, get the message, or deliver a message, and then it stops, and it's like, oh, I can move on to the next one. So pay attention to those things. And then homework is going to be practicing reading for yourself and other people. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to read for others. I have the Twin Flame group, and I have the Alcyone Light Healing group, I have the MUNAY Keyright group, and I have a new membership on my website now that is a group. And the girls in there have been practicing with each other. Like, there's a girl in there right now doing, like, Akashic record readings. There's somebody else who asked if she could practice her things. And I don't mind if they do that for each other. They're not doing paid readings. They're just practicing. And then Community Cares is on the 13th this month at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. I have 2 sets of girls. We're going to go live with multiple Zoom rooms. And it's going to be for discounted sessions, so they can practice, and the community can get, healing or a reader, whatever they're offering. Some of the girls are healers, some of them are readers. And I'm going to, like, put on Zoom with multiple rooms. So, like, you're going to go in this room with blah, blah. And it will be 20 minutes for $10. And then you are able to tip your practitioner, and they keep the tip for them. and the $10 is for like, you know, organizing all of it and keeping all of it going, and, you know, paying for Zoom and those things. So you're welcome to do that. It's going to be on the Bridget Rao channel, and it's on the 13th this month. It's going to be once a month on a Wednesday night at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. We might change it up a little bit, you know, depending on how it goes and how many people come and take advantage of that, but that's something that is part of the membership. So it's $22 a month to join the membership. If you are a healer or a reader, you want to practice at those, you are able to do that. And then if you're offering products and things like that that you want to put out there, I let people post their products or their services on the Divine Essentials store page, and I keep 27% of the sale. So they get 77%, I keep 27%, and that's like the, you know, the finder's fee, or like the promotional fee for basically opening up a community that is pretty vast to these people to have now an opportunity to promote their work and get, you know, things booked and things like that. And then in the actual membership, there's 2 live calls that I do where it's like we're talking and chatting and questions and stuff like that. There's one on tomorrow night, actually, where you can drop in, not a member, for $8.88, or you can be a member for $22 a month and come for free readings once a month on the first Tuesday of the month. That's tomorrow night at 8. And then there is a whole archive of things in there from the last membership stuff that I have, with like business stuff and love stuff and readings and like journal prompts and all of that. And then there is also codes for Alcyone Light Healing. So each level of Alcyone Light Healing is going to have a couple of free codes for the activations that are paid. So if you're somebody that wants to be a part of the membership, but you know, like, you're going to also want to get those activations, wait and see, like, is that one that's going to be on that list of free activations before you ever purchase one. And then I have 20% off any of my paid things that are not a part of the membership. So like my goddess activations, there's 13 of those coming out for 13 months. You get 20% off of that. The Star Rights is booked for this month. You get 20% off of that. There's going to be a womb right this month, and there's, again, 20% off. Basically anything that you want to do. If you want to get like my new Oracle card reader class, I have that I just like posted, like, no, not like, it was like how to make your own Oracle deck. You get 20% off of that, and then you get the free program How to Write Your Life, and there's access to things with me. So like sometimes I take down bookings with me for like readings and stuff like that, but there's a members only page that has access to all of that all the time, anytime. So they are never turned away for readings. And there's a couple of pages on the website that like only the members can see. You can't see into the group unless you're a member. You can post in the group. I post in the group. A lot of the women are there because they have had difficulty with like a twin flame situation, but it's not solely about that. It's more so about, you know, healing because of that, basically. But we all need to heal. We all need to come into alignment with ourselves and reach a union within ourselves so that we can find the right people and we can, you know, have good partnerships in our world, whether it's a partnership with love or a partnership with whatever. But there's a lot of other benefits that go with the membership that's not really, it's not just for that. So I think, you know, if you want to be part of it, can be. If you don't want to be part of it, whatever. You can drop in for anything that you ever want to try out for $8.88. All of the events are listed on the events tab of the website. So you can just check in anytime and see. And then there are events that are not exclusive to the membership that people can come to. So check out the stuff there and see if you're interested in any of that. And yeah, so basically that's what we're going to be doing. Your homework is to practice the readings, okay? So writing a list of colors and what they mean to you. So don't go looking them up. Write it out what they mean to you. Then writing a list of numbers 0 to 44. And this is homework, so you can do this, you can start doing it now if you want, or wait until I'm like homework time, which is on level, yeah, it's the next level, so it's not really that big of a deal if you wanted to do it. It would be, maybe I'll just make this one video. I don't know, we'll see. But basically, you write down the meaning of it or what it feels like to you. What would that number mean to you? And then writing out a cheat sheet for tarot. So you could make your own cheat sheet and use the one that I've got as like your basis. I also have another one that is a little bit more of like vast. I should make a copy of that and put that up. I'll put that up with the new 1 to 10. And right, wands, fire, cups, water, pence, earth, swords, air, etc. Okay, so yeah, write out the cheat sheet for all of that, aces to kings, and then find the meaning from other readers, from books, from online, from your intuition, whatever. Don't be limited to one interpretation. And I find that you get like pulled to certain ones. Like that makes sense more than anything else I've heard. That one fits for me, so that's the one I adopt and take on for that. And write a diary for a daily 3-card pulls. So what the messages are that you received each day. And if you don't have a tarot oracle card deck, you can download the free deck ones on like the Google Play Store, where it's like, you know, a bunch of different ones out there. But basically, you pick the cards, like they're like, and then doop doop doop, and you get those 3 cards. So those could be your 3 cards for the day. And they said, if you don't look at their interpretation until after you've written out yours first. So use your intuition and then look up what they mean and see if like, oh, that's right on, or maybe mine's a little bit different. Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's no wrong answer. That's the whole thing with this. There's no wrong answer. You don't have to stress out about it, worry about it. And then with the bonus for level 6, it's going to be meditating with our eyes open in a dimly lit room with candlelight. You can do this at dusk or dawn, and ask spirit to show you signs and wait for movement to happen, or energies to be shown, or feelings to be felt. So like, it's kind of like when we're looking at the aura. So when you gaze, like you just kind of like relax your eyes. You're not like staring at something, but you could, you know, look at something and then just like relax your gaze and see what happens. You know, like does things start to transform? You could do your hand, or you could do like look into like glass or something, or to a mirror. You could do a candle one, like you could look at the flame of a candle. You, just whatever feels good for you, but you keep your eyes open and soften, and you might see stuff. Like I notice, like when I'm tired, I start to see more, and I interpret the invisible world a lot more. I'm like, whoa, what's that? It's like hazy stuff starts coming on in, and I'm like, what's going on over there? And it's just like, but then there's like freaking whole peoples. I'm like, ah. But yeah, it depends. It depends on the time too. Like 3 a.m. Woohoo! There's lots of stuff going on at that time. But you know, middle of the day, there's so much activity going on in the physical world. I think like spirits like, I'm out of here. But at nighttime they come out and they're like, what's up? So pay attention to that stuff. You could work with a crystal, gaze into like a crystal. Sometimes I get like lost in them because there is stuff inside of them. Like if you gaze in there, if you got the right one, you know, sometimes you can see, they're called Devic temples, and they have like beings and stuff in there. Like I've literally seen, actually I had messages come through about past lives the other day when I was looking into a crystal, and I was like seeing something. I don't even remember. It was like a dude, but the dude was tied to a past life. It was this whole message that I got, and I was like, whoa. But it's not something I can just like do on demand or repeat. Like it's just like sometimes that stuff happens, and I'm like, wow. But you can see like this one's very clear, so there's not a whole lot going on in there. But then there's some that have, like I said, like that Devic temple, which is like there's just kind of like a lot of fairy dust and stuff like that is what they kind of in saying that it is. This is a good representation of a Devic temple, because you can see like all the little stuff going on in there. That's like what you would gaze into to find, like, is there a person in there? Is there like a guide or a master, or you know, whatever, somebody in there, something in there. They have rainbows. Sometimes they have just like, and there's usually like a way for them to get in, like a key. So they'll have like an indent or something. This one has a mirror in there, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. Oh yeah, right there. See how it catches the light? Boop, 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 boop. The mirrors are helping us to reflect. So if you have one that has a mirror, which is basically like, it's something happened to it when it was being created. Like this one's got a lot of messed up stuff going on in there. So I feel like this one heated up and then it got cold. And that's how they make these ones, the crackle quartz, it was heat treated. So it's like crack, 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 crack. But those are little fractures. So when those happen naturally on their own, a lot of times they create like a mirror in a place that's like reflective. This one has a lot of them. It's hard to show. This one's actually, what do you call it? This one has like there's this side on it that has like these like multiple, see those, there's like this flat boop, 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 boop. It's like I was growing to become a point, but then I got messed up, and then I started again, and I started again, and I started again. These are the ones that I'm like obsessed with for some reason, probably because I've had to start again so many times in my life. But they have like, see the multiple terminations right there, like doop 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 doop, like steeps, like level 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 level. Like I almost did it, but I got fucked up. I did it again. Oh 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 oh. Those ones I become crazy about, and I can't help it. I'm like, I need to buy all of them. This one has it too, but not. It's like at the end here, multiple terminations. So they call them ET or extra terminations, but it looks like a ship that's going to be like taking off. They say, like, oh yeah, crazy. Like if you can see this one in person, how crazy this one is. As soon as I saw this, and this is a Lemurian. This one's very rare, so it's got some right there. And then it's got these guys up here. See all those? Holy moly! And it has a upside down pyramid on the top there, like this hole. That is a trigonic marking, which basically, sometimes they have the record keepers, and the record keepers are triangles on their faces that are in the upside direction, and they're usually like pushed in to the crystal itself. Like they're like this one has them, but it's very hard to show you because of the way that you have to show people. It's like it's on the face. Like see how there's like little lines and stuff there? Some of those lines make pyramids, and those pyramids are actually record keepers that help us to access information from the past and past lives and soul retrieval information and stuff like that. And then there's the trigonic, which is like even more rare, and that one is like an actual hole in the crystal, and it's in the opposite direction. It's an upside down one, and it's a little tiny guy up here, but this one's crazy, the amount of stuff that it's got going on with it. And then over here there's little crystals, like tiny ones, which are all multiple terminations. You can kind of see it catching in the light. Those are all little terminations of like, I almost made it, but I didn't make it. And then this one does have the Devic Temple as well. Oh, and this one, I could probably show you on here. This one has Record Keeper on its face and a time link. So there's a time link on it, but right here on that face, see if I can catch the light. You have to get the reflection of the light to hit it, usually, to show people them. But this one has such thick ones. See those? Those are like, that's what, like, it's an indent into the crystal. Yeah, there we go. Is there a pyramid there? Anywhere? There's some little pyramids, but they're hard to see. Oh, you see it, you see it, see it, see it? Like, this little guy right here? That is a record keeper. Hello. And when you meditate with them, if you put your finger over it, that's how you get the information out. and everyone's different, you know. They don't always have to have all the same markings and things that others do. There's just so many things, but I spent like a couple weeks researching and getting into that because I bought crystals. I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy some crystals and like sell some crystals. And I thought that's all I was going to be doing. But I ended up like getting like sucked into this zone for weeks and like studying all about crystals because the first ones that I got, I was like, yeah, I'll activate them and I'll send them off, and I was like, oh, I got to write this person a note about this crystal. And then I started seeing stuff about the crystals that I've never seen before. It was like, this reminds me of this, and then I would like look it up and I'm like, oh my god, that's actually what that means. So it turned into that whole thing, and then I realized just how many things there actually are that tie into different stuff, and I became like completely different because back before it was like, yeah, it's a pretty crystal, I'll put it there. Now it's like, oh my god, and spend like 6 days with my little loop looking at it. It's got a light, and I get all weird with it, and I look into my crystals and find things, and then I don't want to get rid of them because they're like too good, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get rid of you. People liked the what do you call them, twins too. Everybody was asking me for twins for a while. I still have a bunch. I just like, I got overwhelmed with all the work that I had to do, and I just couldn't do stuff anymore, like not like I could before Lyme disease hit. So do things like that, and that will help you, and it really does. Like, I've noticed, like, since I started working with crystals and things, like, you know, just being more aware of stuff and taking the time to, like, it's kind of it's like a meditation when you sit there and you're like studying all the sides of a crystal or counting all the like 1 2 3 4 5, like there's Isis windows. This is kind of like an Isis window right there. See how it's got, like, it doesn't have the perfect point up here. If it had the perfect point up here, it would be an Isis window, but it's got a side, 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 flat bottom. Perfect point is an Isis window. And then if it has like a 5-sided face or 7-sided face, those things mean something differently. There's so many different things. Some of them have etching, and the etching can be tied to different star systems like Pleiades and Orion, or Andromedan, or Sirian, or Arcturian, or whatever, basically. And it's just based off of like the etching on the sides, and each one has like unique stuff usually, but this one, specifically, there's a side that has like icing on. This one's kind of like a scepter too. It's like the big fat head with a little tiny body. It's like beep, boop. Oh, they can have keys too, like a key where you sit your finger. Those also help you to access the information inside. This one has a bunch on it, but they're like layered. Key, see all the like boop, 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 boop. Those are record keepers, but there's a shitload of them. So there's like a lot of information in there. So holding that while you meditate would be pretty good. And this one, it was a twin, right? But it got cut in half. Like it's like, like, I don't know what happened to this one. I used to buy like bags of like 1 pound or 2 pounds, and I got this in one of those, and I was like, holy crap, what happened to you? It's because so much information. I feel like it blew up because of all the record keepers. Because record keepers are usually like 1 little guy or 2 little guys. It's not usually like how many this thing has, which is probably, at least that I can tell, at least 20 just piled on top of each other. And that's information. So, and we still use these things to store information in our computers now. Lemurian with a twin attached to it, and it has like little tourmalines in there. See all the little guys? Those are protective little boop, 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 boops. So it's very protective, high vibrational. But I do recommend working with crystals if you'd like. And, you know, find one that's cool. This is my knife so that I can cut cords. Extraterrestrial, multi-dimensional. This is like the best thing I've ever had in my life, basically. I love it. And it's staying with me forever. Yeah, those are your homework things to do. Meditate with the candlelight or the dusk or dawn. Meditating in front of a mirror, again with a dimly lit ambiance. You can stare at yourself in the mirror until you begin to transform and change. Ask to be shown your ancestors, your past life selves, or your guides. Close one eye to assist in the vision. So that's like that mirror technique. If you did the MUNAY key with me, it's like breathing through the levels of perception, which, again, that's what this whole thing is about. So the base level is like our basic level consciousness. Like, I'm just down here at the basic level. And then the next one is like, I'm getting more creative. I'm gonna like save some of this food. I'm not gonna just like eat it all right now like the snake would do, which the snake is tied to the root. And then the next one is a jaguar. It's a little bit more, sly. Gonna like save some food for later. And then we go to the hummingbird, which is like, oh, like I can make it through the seemingly impossible journey of life. I'm gonna eat nectar and be happy. Woohoo! And that one's like holding your vision. So when you're looking into the mirror and you're like, in the dim lit light, you'll start to see like transformation over your face. And one will start to like appear more than the others. Like there'll be one face that keeps coming up. There may be more than one that repeats, but usually there's one that you can tell, like, I've seen that face like 10 times now. And when you notice that, ask that one to stay. Like, ask that one to, like, stay, please. And that one will end up doing that. And as you holding it, we go to the next level, which is the last level, which is the level of, like, creator, or the eagle condor. And so that's, like, rising above all adversity and things to that nature. And ask for the message. And once you get the message, you hit the poof state where it disappears. You disappear too, though. You'll see right through you. The first time I did that, I did it with people at when I was doing my mesa, when I was building a mesa. I did it with a guy, and he turned into like a little boy version of himself, and then he turned into a knight in shining armor, and then he turned into Jesus. He was like, he turned into some weird stuff. But then he disappeared. Like, whoop, puff state, gone. Like, I could see through him. And then the woman that I did it with, she turned into, like, the statues in Easter Island. That big-ass head. she was just head. I was like, oh. And she had, like a witch doctor thingy, like, it was all kind of like, ooh. And then she disappeared, but there was an oscillating fan behind her. So, like, I would see the fan every, like, so often because it was, like, coming out from behind her. But then when she disappeared, it was, like, all I could see was the fan, like, staying. I'm like, oh, my God, she's gone. So it does work to get to that level. Just go through it comfortably and don't overthink it. Don't get all up in your head. Don't be like, because that's usually what messes us up from being able to do those things. And just like I said, breathe through the levels of perception, or put on a meditative thing and don't even think about it. Just do what I said. Ask for the faces, and when you start to see them, pay attention to the one that's showing up the most. See if you can hold it, and ask for the message. And just trust whatever message you get. It's the first thing that pops into your head, and then go to the poof state. Be like, I'm going to the poof state, and just think that, and poof, they're gonna disappear. Okay, so those are things that will help strengthen your visuals. And then for daily practices, there's 10 eye-opening affirmations recite daily for the level. So you could do like, I am expanding my awareness. I am seeing the truth of all things. I am seeing from new heights. Whatever you want to write for the 10. And meditating outdoors at sunrise or sunset for a few minutes each day with sun gazing. Do this responsibly and smart. Don't be like, let me stare at the sun like at noon. Do it in the morning or at dusk when the sun's like, I'm not strong right now. That's a good time to do it because you're not going to blind yourself, and it's going to help to strengthen. You could even do it with your eyes closed. Just like sit there at that time and face the sun and let it like inform this, okay? Like, this is what you're trying to open up, is the third eye, which is your pituitary, like, pineal thing going on in here. When you look at the stuff from, like, the Egyptian things, like the Eye of Horus, that is the third eye. That is how we perceive with, like, dreams and stuff like that. Okay, so be sure to do this practice slowly. Like, don't just go out there the first day and like, I'm gonna do this for 20 minutes. Do it for a few seconds, you know. Like the first day, start off with 30 seconds. The second day, do 60 seconds. Then 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Like as you go through the days, and make it a regular practice, and get the benefits of doing the sun gazing. Ensure you do not cause any harm to yourself. This will take the place of a yantra meditation for this level, okay? So every level before we had the little like, yantras. Now you have this daily practice. If you don't want to do the sun thing, just do it with a candle or something, or whatever you feel comfortable with. Like a mirror is a portal, so be careful with those, but you can do it with a mirror. Just always use intention, always open the vortex, always say, I am protected, I am safe, I'm not like gonna allow anything that is not of the light to connect with me, and then you don't have to really worry too much about anything. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing in this level. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Hopefully I'll remember to do that thing with the page. And then we're gonna go on to the last level after this, which in the last level is basically, like becoming the channel for your own activations and meditations and classes. And then activations and meditations in that level, there's a lot. There's like, because we're going to connect with all of the guys, like Andromedan, Sirian, Arcturian, Pleiadian, Lyran, Avian, and then the Galactic Council. So there's going to be an activation for all of those and a meditation for all of those. That way you can tell the difference of Andromedan from Sirian, from Pleiadian to, whatever. And then the last part would be how to channel an activation. And there will be some homework and bonus level stuff for that, and daily practices for that. And then it will be congratulations, you are done. And you can do whatever you like to do. So, I also had some other things come in. There will be Shamaness coming, which is like a shamanic more so than it is, like what we've been doing. It's more so like, let's get in touch with like building a mesa, or not, more so like let's make a ritual or a, oh my god, what is this big thing in front of me right here? My altar. How to create your altar, and basically, the concepts that go into doing like some more of the shamanic stuff, because that's really where I kind of have like been like led to. I didn't really have much of a say in it. It was like, hey, you're gonna do this stuff. The MUNAY key came to me, and that was like the life-changing experience that put me onto the path that I'm on now, that basically just took over everything. And then all the other stuff that came about as a result of that, like I never would have done anything without that. I never would have hosted a meditation. I never would have even spoken a meditation. I never would have done a lot of like the channeling I've done. I've never really had like anything going on until I did that, and then it was like everybody came to get it and everybody wanted it. So I even went to other places from the first place I worked at to share those with people, and that's like what started expanding me out there. And then I think it's responsible for basically everything that's ever happened since then. And then the star rates, those were crazy in themselves, because I channeled in one of them that is an actual rite that like they do in Peru that I didn't know anything about until I was like, oh, this is I'm in the shower getting ready to go there, and they're like, this is a rite. And I was like, what? So I Googled like Pleiadian 7 steps, because all I was doing was taking the energy from the stars, like one for each chakra. And that's what was like, I'm going to do that tonight when I go. And then they're telling me it's a rite, and I'm like, what? So I looked up like 7 chakra, 7 sister meditation, and the Cote Kuna Carpe pops up. And it's basically, we're creating ley lines of energy, which they call ley lines of energy, like to sock bays, which are the places of power, which are your chakras, and creating like these little temples from the Pleiades. And the thing that was like the most crazy about it was I had made a list of the 7 stars so that I wouldn't forget any of them while I was like, doing it through the meditation. And I had listed them as they had listed them. You know, like Alcyone for here, and Taigeta for here, and Meropa for here. And I had them listed appropriately. I was like, oh my god. So I channeled it in before I actually even did it, and then realized that it was an actual, like, the Cuerero shamans, which are the ones that are all tied to the MUNAY key, are the ones that are actually doing that as well. And I think it's in part of I think it's a Noosterite too. I've gotten into watching some of the Noosterite course, but I haven't done all of it yet. I stopped because I need to get 7 stones for the 7 things, and I just, like, never went back after that because I'm just so busy all the time. But I'm pretty sure one of them is going to be the Kotokuna Carpe, because it just sounded like it. But I might be wrong. It might be something else, or it might be her take on whatever, or somebody else's take on whatever. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the Noosterites, and once I've got those, I'll be sharing those with people too. Starrites are this month, and Wombwrite is at the end of the month. It's going to be a live version of it. If you haven't done the Wombwrite yet, that is the 13th rite, is the Divine Feminine, healing your, like, ancestral line, getting rid of the karma and the, like, pain and suffering that we've been carrying around within our womb space, because that's what us women do. We hold it all in there, all our trauma. So it clears that out, and then you get homework to do when you know, leave that. And oh, Isis and Osiris are this month's goddess activation on the 27th, and those, I did Bridget and Cernunnos is the first one. Then I did, what did I do? Who was the next one? I forget who I just did one. It wasn't 2, it was 1 person. And I just did one, and now we're going to be doing Isis and Osiris. And then there'll be another one. So 1 every month for 13 months. They are available, the playbacks are available on Vimeo. I don't charge as much for the playback, because, like, people like to come to the live and be there, and, like, we talk and interact through Zoom. And then I do, like, the activation part. And then I do, like, a playback where I don't even include all of what we've, like, the last one was, like, we were there for, like, 6 hours. So I didn't include all of that in the playback, but I did, like, 3 of the 6 hours in the playback. And I can't remember who it was. Was it No. I think we're gonna do Lakshmi next. Who the heck was it? I don't know. You can see. Oh, it was, what's her name? Kali. Kali, the evil killer person. She's very compassionate, loving, but she eats, you know, demons and stuff like that. Yeah, we worked with her. And she's very much like, fuck you. So if there's anything toxic or anybody that's no good for you, or anything that is like, I shouldn't be doing that, or I shouldn't be dealing with this, or I need to cut this out of my life because it's just not going anywhere good and it's making my life a miserable living hell, she comes in and she, like, opens your eyes to it even more, and she's like, now you have the strength to cut that motherfucker and all of that shit out. So you don't do that no more. So if you need that, go get the Kali one, because that's what she's for. And next month will be Lakshmi, which is all about abundance and prosperity and monies and things like that. And then I think I'm going to be doing Sekhmet, but I'm not sure. I never know exactly, because they come to me at random times. Like, Isis and Osiris have been coming in for years, but Bridget and Cernunnos wanted to be the first ones. And I think that's because they're, like, the first peeps on the planet. And then Kali, she was just like, hey, you need to cut some shit out, man. Come on. And she just wouldn't, you know, she wasn't going to go until we did it. So we had her come. And then this one we'll be doing Isis and Osiris. And they connect with Sirius and Orion. The great chamber of the pyramids, like, aligned to them in the stars. He was cut up to pieces by his brother, Set, who is Chaos, because he's jealous of his brother. But she, you know, found all the pieces that he cut up and put them back together, golden schlong on them, and sat on it and conceived their son Horus. And then he did, you know, go to the guy, Osiris, died. And I think she, like, ended up being weird with her son, but I don't know exactly what happened back then. They were all keeping it in the family because of the royal bloodlines and stuff. But yeah, she's good for basically like just being like a goddess and not dealing with stuff. And like she channels the forces of the underworld and like the good and the bad, and like basically just balancing out stuff and realizing like it's all a part of stuff. Like there's not one thing that's better than another. Basically, it's like we have to have the shadow to know the light. We have to know the good to know the bad. Like we have to know the good and the bad. Like without them, it wouldn't be relevant. Like you wouldn't know bad if you didn't have a good fucking day. You wouldn't know a good day if you didn't have a bad day. So she's like helping us to like balance those forces and to utilize them to our favor. Sometimes you need to go into the dark side of yourself to be like a little bit, and that's basically what we'll be doing. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I'm going to be doing a Q&A too. I haven't decided what day I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to be doing a Pleiadian channeling Q&A through my website. It's through Zoom, so like you buy a ticket, I send you a link, you click on that like an hour before the event, I'll send those out, and then you just click on the link and go in and watch live. And for the Q&A, that's when I trans-channel, so I don't have my eyes open, but we'll set it up like so like people kind of know what to expect before we like get into it. But it would be like, all right, you're gonna go first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So when I'm done with this person's question, you will be the next one to ask it, and then so on and so forth. And then when there's like 5 minutes left in time, so let people know that like or let them. But I always say that, and then it's like they stop. They know when it's time to stop. They're like, I come out and I'm like, oh, it's 7 p.m. on the dot. Okay. But I always get like worried about that stuff because I'm not there conscious. Like I feel like I'm here, but I'm not seeing anything. Like I just feel like not barely even aware of my body. My feet fall asleep, my legs fall asleep, I blow up, like my legs get all swollen and shit, like weird stuff happens, and I'm like, ah. But it's because I'm not like paying attention. I can stand in one spot for like 6 hours because I'm channeling and they're taking over, and I'm like, you guys need to be better carers of this body because I come back and it's all messed up. But that's what I'll be doing, and it's so that people can ask their question while they're there. If you don't have a question, you could just be open to receive, or just say skip me, and then if you're not comfortable or you want to wait for like the second round, it depends on how many people show up, how many rounds it will go. I've noticed like when I have like 6 people come to those and it's a 2-hour event, it's like usually 2 rounds people get, whereas like messages come through. It depends though, because sometimes they talk more than other times. Like if somebody asks a question that's pretty deep, they might ask a lot of, or they might answer with a lot of, elaborated, this is what you need to do, or this is what the message is that you need to hear. But if it's not like that, then it might be over and done with in a few seconds. So we never know until we go. But I find that whoever comes to those, they usually align to it for a reason. So once I have it on the schedule and I know the date and all of that, there will be like a newsletter or something that goes out before it to let people know like, hey, this is coming on this time. So if you're not signed up to the website's email thingy, go sign up on the front page. When you go to divineessential.com, there's a pop-up and you just sign up, put your name and email in there, and then you'll get notified of things that are coming. And we do a newsletter usually monthly. I don't think we didn't do one last month, and I don't think I've sent out the one for this month yet, but it is written. I just have to send it out and edit it because now there's new stuff that wasn't going to be done until this month, and old stuff that was for last month on the other version of it. So I gotta plop those around. Maybe I'll have Mars do it. I have a new person that helps to do all that stuff. So it's helpful getting more things done, and I'm gonna be back on Bridget Rao channel soon. I don't know which day it's gonna work out to be like, yay, this is the day. But I did record earlier for the Bridget Rao channel, and then I ended up deciding not to post it. So that happens sometimes when you're doing readings. It's like, it's weird. It's hard to explain, but it's like you could do like an hour-long freaking thing and then be like, yeah, I can't share that. So it feels like sometimes, it's almost like sometimes you get a message for yourself, or there's like one person out there in the collective that was like for it. But if like I haven't posted in so long for those people that I don't want to start off with like a very specific message like that one was. It was like very specific. I was like, I don't think I want to post that yet. I saved it, so I will post it eventually, but not right now. So one of these days, there'll be one that's going to go to be posted, maybe tonight. Okay, so I will be back for the part 2 of Alcyone Light Healing soon. And thank you very much, or not part 2 of level 6, okay? In MUNAY, namaste.